Today we're going to make cold summer puddings, an ice cream that's very easy and quick to make, and a children's birthday cake which is made in next to no time. First let's start with real old-fashioned tasting ice cream. This is a super ice cream. It's made from just 3 ingredients: eggs, they're separated, icing sugar and double cream. None of your old-fashioned custard, which takes hours to make, and you've really got to have one of those machines that you put ice and salt in the outside part and then you churn away. This is just a quick one. So to begin with, I've separated the eggs. In this bowl I've got 4 egg yolks and I'm just blending them. There's no need to do any vigorous whisking because it doesn't make any difference. So just blend the 4 egg yolks, and in the mixing machine I've got the 4 egg whites, and I've already whisked them rather like meringue, well exactly like meringue, until they're full volume, and I've started to add the sugar. 4 ounces of icing sugar. It's rather a noisy process, that's why I started it just beforehand. So I'm going to turn the machine on to maximum speed and continue mixing the egg whites until they're shiny and glossy, and I've added all the 4 ounces of icing sugar. It's been sifted. Whether you're doing it by hand or by machine, it's essential to do it really fast and quickly. You must be wondering what all that clattering is. I've got some rather smart tins that I'm using for moulding it. There we are. Now that's the consistency, right and peaky, and that's how it should be, the meringue part. And to the meringue part I'm going to add the 4 egg yolks, which I've just blended together. You may well be wondering why I'm adding the egg yolks to a meringue, because one's always told that you must on no account get any fatty substance or egg yolks in the bowl at the same time. But once it's reached full volume, you can. So fold that in. And now it's really beautifully thick still and a pale yellow colour. Lovely and thick. Now all that remains is for me to add the cream. And I've got half a pint of double cream. So the 3 ingredients again: 4 eggs separated, and 4 ounces of icing sugar, and lastly the double cream, half a pint. Don't whisk it too much, particularly in warm weather, because it'll turn to butter. I was very careful because it's jolly hot here. There we are. And then stir in. And it's still beautifully thick, not quite as thick as it was when it was the meringue mixture. Now it comes to the flavouring of the ice cream. You can make it just vanilla by adding half a teaspoonful of vanilla essence, that's easy. Or you can make a coffee one, and you can use coffee essence, 2 tablespoonfuls, or your own strong coffee with a little sugar added. One of my favourite ones is making a blackcurrant one, and I don't go to the trouble of sieving blackcurrants and cooking them. I use the blackcurrant drink, the one that's high in vitamin C, and add about 2 or 3 tablespoonfuls just till it tastes right. But at this time of year there's plenty of fruit about, and strawberries are becoming cheaper, so you could add a strawberry puree. I've got some in this box. That's just mashed strawberries sweetened with sugar to taste. But to this one that I've made today I'm going to add gooseberry puree. Now I took fresh gooseberries like these, and I cooked them in very little water indeed, and I used half a pound and enough sugar to taste, about 2 ounces. And I've liquidized them in a blender, but you could just cook them even without top and tailing them, and you could then just sieve them and the top and tails would be left in the sieve. There we are. At this stage I'm taking out the whisk and just folding it in. But the secret of this particular ice cream is having it thick and rich, and there's nothing to crystallise. When you make the old-fashioned type that you have to keep churning and whisking during freezing, it's because it is crystallises, and as this is so rich it won't crystallise. And then turn it into a tin. Now I'm getting rather cluttered up with bowls, so I'll pop these underneath. There we are. choose a container that's got a big surface on the bottom, preferably rather shallow like this one, and it'll take you need a 2.5 pint container. Now you see how nice and thick this is, and it'll just taste of fresh gooseberries. If you're very fussy, you could make this green by adding a little bit of green colouring. Now the length of time this takes to freeze depends on how cold your freezing compartment of the refrigerator is. I find it best to set it cold the day before, and then it really does get stone cold. But if you do it in a real freezer, it'll freeze quicker, about 2 hours. So there we are. Put the lid on. Now in the freezing compartment of your refrigerator, it will keep for about 3 weeks, but in a real freezer, it'll keep much longer, 6 months.